And welcome back to the Football Rundown. We're talking about Stockport County today as they take on Doncaster Rovers tomorrow, away from home in League 2. It's just the third game we have in January. It really feels like it's been an empty month in terms of football at Edgeley Park. Of course, we had Mansfield at Edgeley Park on New Year's Day, Walsall on the 13th at Edgeley Park, obviously missing a match weekend in between there where it was meant to be an FA Cup game. We were meant to play Gillingham, who of course continued in the FA Cup. Unfortunately, we were knocked out in the round beforehand, so therefore we missed a weekend there. Of course, we missed a weekend last week as well with the Notts County game called off due to a frozen pitch. So we should have probably played 4 games by now, and we've only played 2. So it feels like it's been a really empty month for football for Stockport County, and I'm happy just to have another game to look forward to. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there tomorrow, but I am looking forward to keeping up with the score. I'm excited to see how Stockport County can do. I'm hopeful that we can get another result, another 3 points on the board. I think it's important as well because we got quite lucky considering we didn't play the game last week, and I think some results went in our favour. I think Wrexham lost to Newport. Mansfield obviously dropped points. Was it midweek or it might have been the week before? So both teams now have played their games in hand, on level games with Wrexham and Mansfield, and we're ahead of them by 2 points. So I'm quite happy with that at the moment. I think the results have worked themselves out when we weren't playing. So generally, I'm quite confident. Obviously, I think we'll be promoted this season. I do think we'll be in the automatic spots now. I don't think it's really a danger of, we're going to drop out the automatics. I think it's more of a danger now of, are we going to, drop to second or third? Are we not going to win the title? And some people would say, well, I'm not really bothered about winning the title as long as we're promoted to League 1, which is fair enough. At the end of the day, you can finish first, you can finish second, you can finish third, and you still ultimately go up to League 1. It's not like you've got to go through a playoff like, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. So I understand that, but for me personally, we've been top of the table for so long in the season now that I think it would be a massive failure on Stockport County's part if we weren't to go and win the title. I want to get people's thoughts on that. Do you think that's unfair? But, is it a failure if Stockport County don't win the title now from this position? For me, it is. We've been top for most of the season. I think if a team overtook us tomorrow and was top of the table from now until the end of the season, I think we'd probably still have been top for longer in the season. So we've been top for the majority of the season now. Therefore, the expectation is we have to deliver, and I think, we want to win the title. Most Stockport County fans, I think, would want to win the title. I'm not saying, you're going to be ranting and raving if you only finish second or third because you're still going to be promoted. It's still a very good season. But I do think winning the title has got to be, a big objective for us, and it's something to look forward to. And of course, that final day at the racecourse against Wrexham, it's built up to be the decider. It might be decided, but before then. My gut feeling is it will have a say in either the automatic spots or the title. So I think it will be an important game. Whether or not it'll be the deciding game for the title, I'm not so sure. I want to get people's thoughts on that though. Do you think this game against Wrexham at the end of the season is being built up to be something a lot bigger than ultimately it'll end up being? I want to get people's thoughts on that. And also how people feel in the fact that obviously we haven't had a game for 2 weeks now. Obviously some people would have been massively disappointed to wake up on Saturday morning and hear that the game's been called off. Disappointed, but probably not that surprised. So are you going to the game tomorrow? If so, let me know how you're feeling about that game. Of course, Doncaster not doing well in the league at the moment, 21st in League 2. And obviously we beat them at Edgeley Park earlier in the season. Was it October? 1-0, I think it might have been Tanto Alafi, just before full time, if my memory serves me correctly. So obviously this game, again, I know it's away from home, but Stockport County will be the dominant team, or the team that everyone's expecting to win because Doncaster are in such a bad position in the table at the moment. Stockport County have obviously managed to get a win against Walsall 2 weeks ago now. I nearly said last week. So the momentum should be with us. Doncaster, I think, have won just once in the last 2 months. So really and truly, Stockport County have to be winning this kind of game, to be honest. I know that games can be tough sometimes against teams at the bottom of the table, but there's no excuses in this situation. We've had a week's rest as well, an extra week's rest. So for me, Stockport County have to go and get a result at Doncaster tomorrow, and I'm sure we will. I want to get people's thoughts as well. Score predictions, obviously, on the game, and what's your feeling on the game against Doncaster? Do you think they can pull off a surprise shock win? Do you think they can make it difficult for us like they did earlier in the season, or do you think Stockport County will absolutely run away with it tomorrow away from home? I want to get everyone's thoughts ahead of the game on that. But in terms of signings as well, I just want to talk about that for a split second. Obviously, the transfer window is still open. We brought in 2 players on loan last week, obviously, in Reece Bennett and the guy from Villa, Rico Richards. It doesn't like Stockport County seems to be making any more business happen. Obviously, we had the situation with Joe White, who was recalled, or his loan finished with Crewe, and obviously went back to Newcastle. I thought he was going to be coming to Stockport County. My understanding is now that's not going to happen. That deal is that deal between Stockport County and Joe White is done. It's dead, and he may potentially go on loan to even a team in League One. Who knows? He may even end up back at Crewe for the second half of the season. I think they kept hold of him because of injuries in the first team setup at Newcastle, but I think they're happy to let him go back on loan now. And whether or not he still has a chance to come into Stockport County, I'm not so sure. But Dave Challoner was asked about it. Now that we've got more players coming back from injury, does that maybe mean that County can sort of look at bringing in players more that they would like to bring in more than a sort of player that they need to bring in to cover a position? So. Challoner basically said, well, we've basically been doing that throughout the window. We've been looking at players that we need to fill gaps with, but we've also been looking at players that we'd like to bring in, regardless of the need to cover a position. And I think they're quite relaxed on it, but I think they're quite happy with the business they've done at the moment. I don't think they want to spend too much money. Obviously, the Odin Bailey deal was an undisclosed fee. Obviously, they've got the two players coming on loan as well. So I think County are quite happy with the business they've done so far in this transfer window, and I wouldn't expect too much more to happen. Of course, Ethan Bristow came in as well. I forgot about that for a second. And obviously, he played against Walsall. I thought he did really well in that game. So I think County are generally quite happy with the business they've done in this window. I don't expect to see any signings late on in the transfer window, but that could change, of course. And if it does, we will have the information on this channel, of course. Don't forget to click the notification bell to be notified when videos go up on the channel, of course, because if there is any business late on in the transfer window, we will be talking about it on this channel. Are people happy with the transfer business as well that we've done so far in January, or would you like to see more? Would you like to see us sign a player from maybe League One or some? Or is that unrealistic? I'm not too sure, but for me, I don't think County will do much more business, and I don't think we need to. I think we've got players coming back from injury. We brought in one or two good additions as well on loan to the end of the season. I'm quite happy, unless a catastrophic injury takes place in the next few games. I'm quite happy with the business that we've done, and I think it'll be enough to get us over the line and hopefully get promotion and win the title at the end of the season. Let's just go over the League 2 table then. Obviously, Stockport County still top of the table, of course. 27 matches played, 16 wins on the board. I'm quite happy with that, and obviously just the one defeat in the last 5. 54 points at the moment. Wrexham on 52, Mansfield on 51. What could happen there then? Well, of course, if Stockport County drop points tomorrow, which I think it's unlikely, but if Stockport County did lose tomorrow, then they could drop to they could drop down to second or even third, depending on goals difference. But I think Mansfield have a goals difference which is a little bit unrealistic to expect, even if both teams won, both Mansfield and Wrexham. I don't think Mansfield's goals difference will be high enough to go ahead of us. So I do think if we were to lose the game tomorrow, I think second is probably where we would end up in the table. But we could drop as low as third if we're not careful. Of course, a win for us could potentially put us 5 points clear at the top of the table, and that would have us on 57 points. So it's looking up for us at the moment in the League 2 table for Stockport County. Of course, Doncaster at the moment 21st in the table. It's not looking great for them. Of course, Colchester have an opportunity to try and go ahead of them as well over the next few weeks. Doncaster at the moment, it's not looking great, and I wouldn't be surprised if they finished 22nd in the League 2 table come the end of the season. Obviously, Colchester and Salford, who are around them in the table, have made some smart appointments in January managerially that could make a difference come the end of the season. So I'm quite happy with where Stockport County are on the table. Doncaster fans, of course, will not be happy with the position they're in. And is there a fear of relegation, or is it simply a case of Forest Green Rovers and Sutton United are too poor for anyone else to go down? I want to get people's thoughts on that. Doncaster fans, potentially, if you're watching, how do you feel about your club's chances of staying in League 2 this season? Are you fearing relegation, or do you think you'll be okay in the end? And also, what is your opinion on the game against Stockport County tomorrow? Do you think you got a chance of pulling off a shock surprise? I don't think you do, personally. I think Stockport County should have this in the bag. I'm not saying Doncaster won't make it difficult for us, but I think that Stockport County will have the quality in the end to see off this Doncaster side, and I do think that we'll be coming back from Doncaster with another 3 points in the bag, and of course, I'd be absolutely delighted with that. At the moment, it's just about building momentum. We said it against Walsall, getting the 3 points against Walsall 2 weeks ago that was an opportunity to try and get some momentum going. Unfortunately, the game was called off last week, so that somewhat might have unsettled that momentum that may have been brewing. But Stockport County, Doncaster, there's a massive difference in the table. There's a reason for that. It's quality in players, and I know League Two, anyone can beat anyone, but Stockport County have to win this game. There's absolutely no excuses. You've got players coming back from injury. We're top of the table. This Doncaster team doesn't seem to be getting anywhere near the level that I think they would have expected going into the season. And I have to say, it's as simple as this. Stockport County have to win the game, and I think that we will win the game. I'm going to go with a 3-1 score prediction to Stockport County. We'll get everyone's score predictions in the comments below. Of course, I want everyone's opinions in the comments about Stockport County, about Doncaster, about maybe you're just a general League Two fan, maybe you're a fan of a club in League Two that isn't Doncaster or Stockport County. Let me know your thoughts and how you're feeling about your club in League Two at the moment, and what are your chances come the end of the season. And also, Stockport County fans, are you happy with the fixtures we've got coming up over the next few weeks as well? Players coming back from injury as well is always another thing to look forward to, like Louis Barry, who should be back around February, March kind of time, but Will Collar, these kind of players that we're hoping to have back sooner rather than later. I'm excited to just have them back. It will strengthen the bench again, it will strengthen the first 11 again, and I think then Stockport County should run away with it really come the end of the season. Dave Challoner was asked as well about players' injury situation. He also spoke about the fact that the fact that obviously the game against Notts County was called off and how that helped, and he said obviously results have gone our way elsewhere. I think he was a little bit hesitant to say that, but he did say that results have gone our way, which I agree with. I said that earlier in the video. He also said that players are coming back from injury. No, I don't think anyone's back just yet, but it's given them an extra week obviously to get back to back in training, or back to being a little bit sharper, maybe on the bench tomorrow, who knows. But Ibal Touré's back from AFCON, and as I say, no fresh injuries. So I'm happy with that. Obviously, we don't want any more injuries. We want players coming back. I think Dave Challoner said it. If we were starting to get players come back and then we got other injuries, fresh injuries, it would be a little bit like one step forward, two steps back. So I completely agree with that as well with Challoner, what he says there. So I'm happy at the moment. No injuries at the moment. No fresh injuries at least. And of course, players coming back from injury. And obviously, 2 new players to integrate into the team in Rhys Bennett and, of course, Rico Richards, who could be a really exciting player for Stockport County over the next few months, the second half of the season. So I'm really looking forward to keeping up the game tomorrow. Of course, if you go in, let me know let me know in the comments. Of course, let me know all your thoughts in the comments on this game against Doncaster, score prediction, how you think the season's going as well, and do you think Stockport County will win the title come the end of the season? Get your thoughts in the comments, of course. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.